Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request. Actually, the same guy who requested the thoughts on the Matrix 4 trailer. He also wanted my thoughts on the trilogy. I think at one point I wondered if this was my favorite or one of my favorite trilogies. By the way, for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, topics, lists, rankings, whatever, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, I have to think about it more. I don't know if it would be my favorite trilogy. It just depends how one looks at a trilogy. Most people would say the original Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings I could never get into. The original Star Wars I do like. But this is something that I grew up with, and in fact I grew up with Star Wars on VHS, but these are films I saw all in the theater. I got really invested, really liking Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving, liking the cast, liking the philosophy, liking and appreciating the different direction they took. And then when you think of trilogies, like, what do we think of trilogies? Like Indiana Jones, I liked all four of them. I don't want to see the fifth one. I liked all four of them. Die Hard, I liked all four of them, and to me there's only four. Rambo, I liked all four of them. To me there's only four. Indiana Jones, that Lethal Weapon. I like Lethal Weapon 1, 2, and 3. 4 I warmed up to. It's not as bad as people make out to be, including me, honestly. Compared to other sequels, Lethal Weapon 4 is not too bad in retrospect, which is how bad sequels have been lately. Back to the Future, I like 1 and 2. Third one, I don't know if I say I hate the third one. I'm just, the whole Western motif, I prefer the first two a lot more. Evil Dead, I like the Evil Dead trilogy. But I guess as a trilogy, like, I liked each film quite a bit, but as a trilogy, it's flawed only for the fact that, yeah, budget, but they didn't have the rights to each one. So each one kind of, it's a sequel, but then they had to kind of retcon stuff, because like Evil Dead 2, they didn't have the rights to the first one, so then they had to make kind of a condensed version of Evil Dead 1, so the friends are gone, and it looked as if Ash just went back to the cabin when it's not. It's supposed to be, but if you cut it at a certain point, then it is a sequel. And then same with Army of Darkness, because at the end of Evil Dead 2, Bruce Campbell blew up that demon's head that was flying towards the knights, but then that's not in Army of Darkness. Again, it's one of those weird things. If you watch them back to back, your mind has to kind of wander, at least for the first like 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, I should say, of the Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, unless someone did an edit of all three. I know. So when I think of a trilogy, I think of a trilogy that has the continuity, that beginning, middle, and end. And if I don't think about that, it might be the Evil Dead trilogy. But if I do think about that, it might be the Matrix trilogy. Which, now they're going to ruin that with this bullshit fourth film that's going to retcon shit, regurgitate shit, remake the first film, but it's a sequel, so it will be The Force Awakens over again. Trinity is going to be the one. I'm calling it now. Trinity's going to be the fucking one. Just Neo can't be the one anymore. But he was asking why I like this trilogy. Now, I've done reviews, I believe, of each of these films. It's a bit more in depth. But like I said before, I've seen them all in the theater, but it's not just for nostalgia. But just to piggyback on that, I saw the first one in the theater, 1999, where people thought the big sci-fi film would be The Phantom Menace. But a few months before, The Matrix came out, and saw the trailer. I think the trailer is one of the best edited trailers. I love the piece of music they used, which is the same music in the trailer for The Long Kiss Goodnight, starring Gina Davis and Sam Jackson. Sorry about that. Dribbling just remembering that trailer. And it's still a great movie. In fact, I have a request to do a commentary. I'm going to do that. I was waiting until I saw the trailer in order to do that, so now I have even more to talk about. So the person request said, sorry for the wait. I was just waiting for, because I knew it was going to come sometime this month. Sadly, it has come. But I love the mythology. I love the build-up. The first one, the mystery. We're going to try to do again in Matrix 4, which we've already seen in this one. But I like the special effects. I love the bullet time. It was not the first time bullet time was used. I mean, Blade did it in 1998 where Wesley Snipes shooting. And I'm sure there were other bullet time stuff before then, but it's definitely the movie that made that very prominent. And the action scenes seem spectacular. You know, the bullet time, the subway fight, the minigun with Keanu Reeves in the helicopter. All these great set pieces. I like Morpheus, and I like Trinity, and I like getting to know these characters. And it was an interesting plot with the humans being used as batteries for the machines, and the revolution, and I liked quite a bit of that. I mean, it ends with Rage Against the Machine, and that good soundtrack, good capable score. I know the first time I saw this film, it had more of a blue tint, which I can't find that anymore, the blue tint. Which is like I think the first initial copies of the film had that, and I can't find it. Because later on, they changed this to a green tint of the movie to match the sequels. Although now there's no green tint in the new Matrix, so what was the fucking point of changing it for the first film, but you don't do it for your new film? What the fuck? Well, they probably forgot themselves. But I mean, the first Matrix, many people talked about for good reason. Great, damn great movie. So I was really excited for a sequel to come out in 2003. Plus, being a big fan of Keanu Reeves, I mean, I like Street Teams, Constantine, the John Wick films. Technically, the John Wick films are 3, so I guess technically that would be my favorite trilogy right now. I think when I said that comment about this way before, that was before John Wick 3 came out. Although John Wick 4 probably don't fuck that up. So I guess technically, maybe John Wick 3 right now is my favorite trilogy. Yeah, that's how much I love those films. So yeah, I'll probably say John Wick 3, but if 4 is good, then it'll be a quadrilogy. But for all I know with how Hollywood deals with sequels, it could suck. Because I have no hope for anything anymore, I really don't. So, but a lot of people hate these sequels. A lot of people despise these sequels. I do not. I get the idea of wanting the typical path, and most times I want that as well. Humans fight the machines, kind of like the original Star Wars, and the fact that you have 3 people, 2 guys and a woman, trifecta trinity of people, go up against an evil, and defeating the Emperor, here defeating the machines, the Empire, to save the day. And they went in a different direction. A lot of people didn't like that. I can understand that. But I actually appreciated, I got involved with the story, the mythology, the ideas and symbolism and the philosophies of what they were trying to do. And a lot of times, there was heavy-handed shit, yeah. I mean, I love Matrix Reloaded. I saw this in the theater twice. But when it gets to the scene with the Colonel Sanders, the KFC motherfucker, that is terminably long and long-winded. That even in the audience, you could feel the audience just die down. Because it felt like it just kept going and going and going. And it's like, what the fuck are they talking about? What are they saying? But when I actually listened to it, there's some fascinating stuff about, okay, Neo, all these past Neos try and do the same thing, or and they all fail. And they're kind of different versions of Neo, but the same fate. But Neo chooses love over practicality, and he changes fate. He changes things. And then when you come to the end of the third film, you come to realize, especially when you watch the Animatrix, in particular, the Second Renaissance Part 1 and Part 2, you kind of find out the bit of the history of the machines. You see that all places are in turmoil. And Neo makes the deal, hey, your Matrix is running wild. I can help out. If we can do it, let there be a truce. And by the end of the third film, Agent Smith has kind of gone through a similar journey as Neo. Agent Smith and Neo both died in the first movie. Neo died, came back, stopped the bullets. Agent Smith died from Neo, but then he came back in the second film. And they both have their certain superpowers, what they're able to do. And by the end of Matrix Revolutions, they're both equal supermen. In fact, Matrix Revolutions, I think the ending of this movie has the best Superman fight in a movie, except it's not a Superman movie. This is a better Superman fight than Zack Snyder can fucking dream of. It's a better Superman fight than any of his fucking Superman movies, I'll tell you that. Fuck Man of Steel. If you like it, that's cool, but I still say fuck Man of Steel. That's my opinion. But yeah, when you get to the end of it, the end of the third film, you know, he's in the machine world right here, and you come to find out, picture it as the human body, the batteries, they're the body. The Matrix, the mind, and think of the machines as the soul. And so, mind, body, and soul have to be reunited again. And that's the only way to win this war is by truce. And that's what happens. And I thought that was a really interesting take on it, with some nice philosophy issues. And it made me think. It made me think, compared to other movies in this technological advanced way, that I thought with the subject matter at hand was rather refreshing and creative, and didn't seem like the same typical stuff. I mean, how many times do we say we want something different? I thought the Wachowskis actually did accomplish that rather well. Now, I do have issues. I don't think they needed to kill Trinity off in the third film. I don't think that was needed, because she almost died in the second film and Neo saved her, and there was trying to be a repeat of that in the third film. I don't think you needed that. You could have had it that she's been hurt badly and she's in a coma, or she's doing something, or she's hurt badly or something, or she's somewhere else and he needs to do this because he wants to save Trinity. And there's other ways you could have handled that. Hell, you could have had it where you find out she's fucking pregnant at the end, and then you can pontificate, is that Neo? Is that going to be a Jesus allegory? I don't fucking know. It'd be anything, man. I would be fine with that, as preachy, no pun intended, as it could be. But yeah, other than stuff like that, I still rather enjoyed it as a trilogy. The second film, I enjoyed the action scenes. Yes, I enjoyed the car chase scene. I enjoyed the Burly Brawl scene. I enjoyed the scene, the one, I always forget his fucking name, the Frenchman guy. I thought he was kind of an interesting villain. Morpheus got to be a badass, but now we got this fucking shitty young Morpheus with a shitty played by the shitty new Candyman. And these interesting ideas like the Key Master. Not Ghostbusters, Steve, but this is a different Key Master. And I thought, Zion, yes, I could do with less fucking dancing as if it's Woodstock 99. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say they're perfect movies, but I don't think the sequels are nearly as bad as people make it out to be. I think they're ambitious. I appreciate their ambition, especially in this day and age of lazy, uncreative sequels that just care about agendas and don't give a fuck about stories, ambition, or characters. The sequels to The Matrix, I think, have a lot more going for them than people give credit to. Yeah, at least in my eyes. And I think they have a lot of great music, score, visual aspects, great looking movies, technical aspects. I like the cast. The third film I don't think is as good as the second film, but that has some good stuff too. I think the Battle of Zion is pretty entertaining battle. Again, I think the fight scene at the end between Neo and Agent Smith is pretty epic. Again, it's the best Superman fight I've seen on screen. Honestly. I mean, think about it. Imagine that fight if it was Superman. That's the best Superman fight I've seen on a movie screen. And it concluded, and I was fine with the conclusion. Again, there were some things that would change, but it was a conclusion. Neo did the right thing, the right sacrifice. And you did not need any more of the story, and now they're going to ruin it. Just don't bring Neo back and do the same fucking shit he did in the first film, only instead of Neo's the one, he's going to protect the one. It's going to be Trinity is the one. Because it's going to be the same, but different. It's going to be the same, but this little thing's different, and that's going to be like the big twist, right? Is that what's going to be in the movie? You think Neo's the one? Oh, too bad. Tough titty. You thought wrong. Dun dun dun. Cue the Price is Right fucking music. And you're wondering what I'm doing. I even have this video game, which is a fun, tough game, Matrix Path of Neo. Michael Keane, if you're watching this, check out this game. You get to play as Keanu Reeves' Neo. I did it to be tough, but if you stick with it, it'll be fun. And Keanu Reeves actually does the voice of Neo. There's some new stuff in it that's not in the movies, which is cool. Like, they take certain scenes and they extend them. Nice. And even the ending of the game is a bit different than the ending of the movie, which I thought was kind of, or maybe not that different, but it's a little bit different, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, Matrix Path of Neo is an interesting game. Actually makes me want to play that again, honestly, if I get time. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Matrix trilogy. I enjoy what they were trying to do. Again, I've done more in-depth reviews of them on the channel. Like I said, each one of them I saw in the theater. Reloaded, I saw it twice. The Animatrix, like, I saw that piece of shit Stephen King movie Dreamcatcher, Cum Dumpster, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to see this Fly of the Osiris, which this was an animated short in front of Dreamcatcher. I do like the Animatrix. It's 9 short films detailing the world of the Matrix. And I thought this was actually rather good. The ones that were interesting was like World Record, Second Renaissance Part 1 and 2. A few others. And yeah, I do have on Blu-ray, but I do have this DVD set. And now they're making a shitty new one. And they don't ruin the fucking story. Like usual for Hollywood. So I don't know what else to say. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.